What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Pearson coming to you guys with another physical science update. It is Monday, December 14th, and we are getting ready to wrap up Unit 1 altogether. Okay, we've done investigations 1 through 5. We should have wrapped up last week. And yeah, we're getting ready for this unit assessment. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit different than the quizzes we've had in the past, just because while I do want to assess the stuff that we've done in Investigation 5, I am going to draw back on some of the things we saw through the other investigations. But the way that this stuff is laid out, we've been talking about like the pie pans and stuff like that. I think we're going to be just fine. So take a look at how you've done on those past assessments and, look back if you've got questions on why you missed points here and there. Let's use this time this week to make sure that we're getting those questions answered, so we can do the best that we can. All right. So like I said, we got through Investigation 5. I actually I added a review folder. I know I put some stuff in 5.4 last week, like the study guide, which some of us are still working on. I moved that to the review folder. Okay, I've published the study guide key here. All right, so for those of you who have submitted it, and probably those of you who haven't, take a look at that. Those are sort of my ideal answers. And I've mentioned it before on study guides that I've given you. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not here to waste my time. If I'm putting it on the study guide, it's probably going to pop up sometime later. Hint, hint. So if you think that you answered a question correctly and I have it a little bit differently, or maybe you're way off, again, shoot me a question, and we could try and fix that. Okay. I also have a Quizlet which I published last week. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Quizlet, you can use it as like flashcards. There's games that you can play. I'm not sure how many classmates you guys have really interacted with, but you guys are more than welcome, to play the game together, whatever. Make a little competition out of it. But what's new for today is there's another assignment I put up, and it is called the Atom Builder. Okay, you open that up. There should be an attachment that a Google Doc attached. Okay, and of course this is the key, which I'm going to work on here. Like I had mentioned, Google was a little slow this morning, so I was having a tough time getting this doc attached to the assignment. That's why I'm a little late today. But so there's some questions here that sort of go along with what we saw in Investigation 5 in a little bit of a different style, if you will. But there's a link here, which is actually going to take you to this screen. Everything that we're going to do is in this first tab, in this Atom tab. But there is a couple parts. There's really 3 parts: an intro, an actual body to the lab, and then a couple conclusion questions. Okay. Intro, what are the 3 parts to an atom? We know that there are protons, neutrons, electrons. All right, I'm sure some of you guys have been shooting me some questions about quarks and things like that, so I'm sure that you might be able to dig a little bit deeper. But the bare minimum, we got to know there's protons, neutrons, electrons. Okay. I then ask you to describe them. You should be able to tell me where they are, how much they weigh relatively, what the charge is. And those are the 3 big pieces of information I want to know. Where are they in the atom? What's the relative weight? Remember, we said it's either 1 or 0 with weight. And then what is the charge? Again, either plus, minus, or neutral. +1, -1, or neutral. And then from there, you're actually opening up the simulation. I'll let you read through these questions. It's pretty well laid out as far as like add one proton, one neutron, one electron. Okay, and you've got these buckets down. You can see I've been playing around a little bit. You've got these buckets. Some things to look out for. I would keep it in orbits as opposed to clouds. You'll be able to see what element it'll light up. Like this is lithium, which is what Li. If you're not sure what it stands for, you can look them up. Just type in like Li element or something like that. Okay. I believe that these are collapsed when you open this up. I would expand them, net charge and mass number, and it's going to show you, okay, part of what we're doing here with this assignment is looking at net charge and mass number. We've been talking a lot about charges and things like that, but we haven't put many numbers to them. So we're adding and subtracting ones, really. So I would make sure that these two things are expanded here, and then make sure all these boxes down here are checked as well. Okay. We want to be looking at stable elements. I could, if I were to keep adding neutrons, say, this is an unstable atom. And what that means is that it just doesn't exist in nature. And we're talking about real world stuff here. So we want stuff that exists in nature. All right. So it asks you to create a couple different atoms, screenshot them, please. If you want to insert them here, or if you want to insert them at the end, that's cool. A couple different atoms it's asking you about, sort of fill in the blanks here. As you can see, there's some parts of the table that are not completed, but I gave you a couple examples here, right? So if I have hydrogen with one proton and one electron, the proton, the positive and the negative are going to cancel out. And my mass is going to be just 1. Okay, but use what we have here and what we have here. Use these two tools to your advantage. Sort of guess and check if you're not 100% sure. All right. Part 3, conclusion questions. Looking back on some of the things we answered during the lab, seeing if you might deduce any relationships or anything like that. So that's what's new for today. When you're finished with this, please make sure to submit it on Schoology. As always, shoot me any questions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon.